So, I just want to say one thing. This is kind of like a newsflash to many, and it's not just a newsflash to me. I mean, I kind of knew this, suspected this, but then I did a deep dive and I realized one key thing. Those folks in the media, reporters on TV, that keep having this conversation with the members of the Trump administration and members of MAGA officials and stuff like that, keep trying to counter them with the facts that counter what they're doing or counter the stated reason for them to do what they're doing, right? Frankly, you're constitutionally and frankly legally wasting your time. Maybe not legally so much, but you're constitutionally wasting your time. And this is something I had to learn kind of recently, right? And this is something I discussed on a live with my good buddy this morning. Presidents of the United States do not, let me repeat, do not have to have any objectively factual or at least plausibly factual data, statistics, or proof to back up their policy positions that they have declared and to move on such declarations. Let me say it again. Presidents do not constitutionally have to have within their possession or as backup to be examined by Congress or by the judiciary or by the public to make a declaration to assert certain things and then subsequently direct his administration and all the parties he controls to act on those things. The Constitution doesn't require him to have proof to back up his policy prescriptions and his actions. He can simply assert them and then act on them. The legal part that I mentioned earlier that I sort of walked back is when those actions want to follow the Constitution, and there's where lawsuits happen, there's where the injunctions happen, and there's where there's where the Supreme Court comes in. And why this is a problem, because when you look at the Supreme Court recent actions basically nullifying lower court nationwide injunctions, okay, with the exception of maybe district courts, and in rare cases a class action lawsuit, right, basically removes a check, a systemic and rapid response check that stopped presidents in the past from just declaring something and acting on something. Because basically what the Supreme Court did this time around, which is rare for the majority of the history of this country, they basically allowed his whims and his beliefs, or whatever lies he chooses to tell for his political benefit, he allows them to inflict damage on the nation as whole, at large, without any mechanism to stop it before the damage becomes permanent or widespread, okay, and assessing its constitutionality, which is the legal part of it. So, he does not require facts to do so. He's not constitutionally required to have any facts to do what he's doing. It doesn't matter. Constitutionally, it doesn't matter where he's concerned. And then when you think about the Supreme Court basically giving him more or less immunity in a kind of way, immunity with an asterisk, then then we see what we have here. That part of it is part of the coordinated bad faith that I've mentioned before and that other people have mentioned on here. The man does not require any facts to take the actions he's doing. Him sending the National Guard all over the country because he believes it's crime ridden. He can. He can take certain actions because he believes, because of what he believes. He's not constitutionally required to have any facts to back up what he's doing. He can decide to impose tariffs because he believes we're being stolen from. He can do it. He's not required to he's not constitutionally required to have any facts to back it up. And that's the thing that the Heritage Foundation, Federal Society, MAGA, and all these people have been studying, especially this time around as part of Project 2025. That is a key part of their toolbox. And I don't think the media and his critics really understand. And they don't realize how up shit's creek we are with the dissolution of the nationwide injunctions, this rapid response check on executive overreach and overly partisan destruction of our rights in this country. So what that tells you, when you look at the entire 250 years of this country's history, what that tells you is that we've basically been run by a handshake and gentlemen's agreements. We've basically been run by a willing, voluntary deference to separation of powers. We've been willingly run. We've had an executive that have voluntarily restrained themselves from the constitutionally permitted excesses of ideology, of dogma. This administration no longer, the presidency in this time, this guy, traditions don't matter. Traditions don't matter. Morals don't matter. Ethics don't matter. Honor definitely doesn't matter. Honesty doesn't matter. Facts don't matter. I said ethics before.
Your Honor, the administration, has no facts to back up what they're doing at all. Objection. What do you mean objection? They're not dealing with any kind of ethics, any kind of morals, any kind of tradition, nothing at all. What, like, why are you objecting? That's how we've always. I say objection. Relevance. Sustained. That is not required. All of those things you mentioned are not required constitutionally for the executive. So the objection is sustained.
All that matters to them is when they brush up against anything, any constitutional or legal gray area, all that matters to them is if they can personally withstand or weather the consequences of breaking the law, the consequences of abrogating the Constitution. All that matters to them is if the punishment for the abrogation of, say, the emoluments clause, which is flagrantly being done. All that matters to them if the consequences have any significant teeth that they can't bear or not. And due to the fact that our laws are written for that allows interpretation and reinterpretation and stuff like that, it's not hard and fast, then there's no real teeth. And that is what we're discovering, that is what we're living through in this time and area. The president does not require facts or stats to declare and take action like what he's doing right now.